Alright, hello there. Well, let's play Heart of the Woods again, and well, this time should be the last time. Yeah, last time, yeah. Kinda like boss battle things, basically. Yeah, well, let's continue right from there. Hello. Alright. Okay, let me see. Okay. My heart pounds as Abigail and I arrive in the Fairy Grove. This place has been the setting of most of my favorite memories. Here in the forest, I could have never guessed that it would be where everything ends. Hopefully not in a bad way. I can feel the fairies, my subjects, watching from close by. They don't show themselves, but their presence are like tiny little pressure points on my consciousness. They are just as tense as I am. Closing my eyes, I reach out to the forest, asking for its aid. It still hurts badly. It laments the terrible pain that it suffered. I promise that it will be okay. It's my duty as queen to ensure this. I hold the forest in my heart, promise to rid it of the moonsick one. Abigail and I walked to the water's edge, nervous tears at my stomach. Geladra's signal could come at any time. I have to be ready. High above, the moon offers its light to us. The whole lake is dyed in its silver glow, shimmering and refracting and amplifying. I wonder if the volume is like a little bit too high. Moonlight caresses my face like a lover, warm and invigorating. I indulge in it, letting it sink in through my skin. My roots, my forest, every little second could be crucial. Okay, if it's good then I'll pretend like the music has like, no, a little like differences in the volume level, I guess.
How do you feel?
Oh, I forgot the settings a little bit. Okay. And I wonder if it felt different to me. Okay. Let's take it another time.
How do you feel?
She holds my hand loosely in hers.
Nervous. In a way I've never felt before. Nothing else in my life has ever been this important. There's never been life or death consequences like this.
Well, that is a good thing. But well, there were life or death consequences just a couple days ago.
What if I screw up?
I expect to see fear reflected in Abigail's face as well. But when I turn towards her, she looks serene and unbothered.
I have complete faith in you, Madison. The fairies said that not just anyone could be queen, but that you could. They saw something in you too. We're all putting our trust in you. The whole forest is, and our friends too. We wouldn't do that if we didn't believe in you.
I wish I could use a magic spell to boost my confidence. For all the power that I hold right now, it sure feels insignificant. So far, everything has come naturally. Moving through the woods or interacting with its denizens is easy, but to use my magic against another being, that's something else entirely. But I can't let that kind of attitude overwhelm me. I can't be defeated before it even starts. Abigail's right. Everyone is counting on me. I can't let them down.
Thank you.
For what?
For believing in me.
She leans forward and kisses my cheek.
Always.
Always. That word has meant a lot of different things to me lately. The concept of forever keeps shifting and changing. Even now, I'm not entirely sure what it means. I suppose that after tonight, I will.
You know, when we were here before, there were times that I wished it could last forever. Where it was peaceful, and just the two of us. But now, more than anything, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready for us to make new memories. Together.
Yeah, wouldn't be against that.
Nothing would make me happier. When you came into my life, I thought that it would be fleeting, like a nice dream that I might someday look back upon and smile. I didn't dare imagine nor hope for anything more. But now... well, perhaps you've made an optimist out of me after all.
I kiss her forehead, and then her nose, and then her lips.
I love you. More than anything.
I love you too, more than anything.
Together, we face forward. And then that's when I feel it. A cold flash of foreign fear. It stabs through my head, and the idyllic scenery, I recognize the origin immediately. Theodora's panicked signal. I step away from Abigail, clearing a space. I force myself to breathe evenly as I reach within myself, mentally searching for the magic. I call upon the power within me. Unlike before, when it blossomed and flourished at my request, now it lies dormant and afraid. I understand, I'm afraid too, but there's no time to be afraid. Using my authority as Fairy Queen, I coax the magic forth. The judge's presence ages like an infection, and I promise the forest that it will help heal it. That I'll help heal it. The magic ripples through the woods, It sets upon the church, finding Evelyn easily. I can't see her in my mind's eye, but I can feel her. Feel her hatred and scorn and fear. So I'm not the only one who's afraid then. That's more reassuring than anything else. If she detects magic that's coming for her, then I can't tell. At my will, the tendrils of magic wrap around her like vines. Then I stick my hand out, my physical actual hand, and I pull. The result is immediate. Just above the surface of the lake, a ripple disrupts the air as the massive rift opens up. Within seconds, Evelyn falls forward through it, collapsing in a heap to the shore. It's wrong though. She's still in her regular body. It's not just her vulnerable soul, like it should be. I take a fearful step back. Why did Jadra send the signal early? My blood runs cold. What if something happened to her and Morgan? What if she wasn't too early? What if I was too late? I try to rally my thoughts and concentrate on what to do. But probably not too late though, because otherwise, well, there probably wouldn't be much in that body. She quickly picks herself up, wild eyes casting back and forth. Her appearance is monstrous. It finally fits her personality. Her gaze falls on me and her lips curl in hatred or disgust.
So, it's you. I see that even death didn't want you. And now here you are, stinking of snow and pine, stinking of them. You wear their clothes, you bear their crown, but you are not one of them.
She lumbered forward, her steps seeming pained. She's either dazed from being pulled to her, or from the effects of her own spell, but I can't count on that to last.
You're right. I'm not. Just like you'll never be a human.
I need to buy myself time while I try to think.
Human? Ah, is that what you think I want?
Might kinda sounds like that.
I will be more than human.
A gust of wind stirs up. Likely at her calling, the trees shake and I plant my feet firmly to keep from losing my balance. I feel the barriers in my mind freeze and break away. She's gone. As the world spins around me, the moon shines down on the lake. I search for her presence with my mind, but I can't find her, like a fish that slipped off the line. I need to calm down. My heart races as my head begins to ache and throb.
You're so fragile, so easily damaged, so easily broken.
The biting wind intensifies, threatening to sweep my crown away. Abigail shields herself with one arm. Evelyn, however, remains unaffected.
What's wrong, little child? Why not make this easy on yourself? I can make it painless for you this time.
Reality and illusion blur and blend, and the fabrics of my vision tear. She takes another step forward in my mind, shattering what little focus I had. She's almost close enough that if she lunges forward, she could grab me by the throat. Instead, Evelyn scratches at her own neck, her nails drawing blood, but she doesn't seem to notice. High in the sky, the moon watches over us indifferently. I can feel its light sustaining me, the same as it bolsters her. She turns to look up at it, shivering.
Do you know why you were the first to go? Because you were the easiest. All alone, off in the woods. Tragic accidents happen all the time out there.
I'm not sure when you're the mayor, at least.
Really, it's my daughter you have to blame for all this. It's a shame you won't get another chance.
I try to find her again with the magic, but I can't. It's like she isn't even there. Where her consciousness should exist, there's nothing but a gaping hole. A void that feels familiar somehow. Her eyes go red as she faces me again.
Looking for me.
My consciousness is immediately assaulted. My head pounds as I feel Evelyn enter it like an intrusive thought. With every push and pull she rips at my soul, my magic quakes under her power, flickering and fearful. I try to reach out and grab it, pull my own consciousness and strength into me, but every time I get close, it's yanked away. Unrelenting, overwhelming. Die, die, die. It echoes and reverberates in my skull. I choke, momentarily forgetting how to breathe. Every single thought, every single idea, snatched and destroyed. I can't even see anymore.
I knew it! Your gifts are wasted on you. Queenship is wasted on you.
And now, like, Abigail bonks her with a club or something.
What good is power if you don't know how to use it? All of you are the same.
Searing pain in my head forces me to my knees.
Your friends couldn't save you then, just as you can't save them now.
An unseen force shoves my head upward, making me look at Evelyn. A peculiar ringing blocks out all other sounds, except for her words. I'm deaf to the wind, to the forest, to Abigail.
See what you've done, and despair.
Hopefully this actually isn't the bad end, but it shouldn't be. She gestures imperiously towards the empty space between us. Just like the portal I used to bring her here, another hole in space rents itself open. Through it I can see a glimpse of the murky stained glass window of the church. Then it opens unceremoniously, spilling out my friends. Or at least their bodies. Nausea hits me at sight. Tara's there, her body limp and broken, arms and legs played at an obscene angle. Blood trickles from her mouth beneath her open, sightless eyes. So it is probably just an illusion though, because she has done that before. Morgan is also there, in a heap, though her body isn't as mangled as Tara's. A grisly wound stretches from her ear, across her face and down her neck. Blood stains the sand beneath her. Even Celadora lies there motionless. Though her back is turned to me, a small puddle of water forms beneath her, spreading as she seems to melt. I scream. I want to run forward toward them or clutch at my heart, but I'm pinned in place. What went wrong? Was this why the signal came too early? I shouldn't have left them alone. I should have gone with them. This is my fault, isn't it? Evelyn's attack on my mind ceases in order to let me truly comprehend the horror before me. As much as I fight it, my heart gives way to what Evelyn asked of me. I despair. Our feet touch solid ground and Tara immediately loses her balance. I grab her shoulder to keep her from falling. Celadora pants heavily, the magic having taken a heavy toll on her. Maddie, Abigail and Evelyn are on the far side of the lake. Only Abigail seems to notice us. Even from a distance, the terror on her face is clear.
Come on, they need our help.
Tara takes one step forward and then falls to the ground, clutching her ankle.
Shit.
Just then, Maddie screams, in pain or in horror. A sick feeling in my stomach. All three of us turn to look, although there's nothing new to be seen. I know from experience that doesn't mean she isn't in pain. Abigail is tugging on her arm, but Maddie doesn't react at all. She must be beyond even feeling it. And just behind Evelyn, a familiar-looking ball of sinister light is forming, sparkling in the moonlight. Its tendrils jolt and jag with a familiar hunger. Maddie doesn't even know. Evelyn turns back and looks at us, a sadistic grin on her face. The tendrils of magic shift, and the feeling of impending doom fills my lungs. I look back at Tara, who scowls at her foot as she tries to move. There's no way she'll be able to. I don't have long to act. I turn to run to confront Evelyn myself. I don't know what else to do. Everything has gone wrong. All that matters to me at this point is that Maddie and Tara get out of here. If I have to die for that to happen, then so be it. I hesitate just slightly. My leg wavers as I try to take a step forward. It's enough for Tara to grab my arm, grimacing through the pain.
Where are you going?
To stop her.
Tara's grip tightens.
Not without me, you aren't.
Tara, you can't!
Neither can you. I'm not letting you throw yourself away. Not again.
Something soft pulls at my leg. I look down to see Celadora staring up at me.
Both of you.
As sweet as they are, there isn't any time for sentimentality. Every second we spend talking is a second wasted.
Morgan, the moonlight.
I glance up at the sky but don't notice anything different. The moon shines down on both Maddie and Evelyn, surely invigorating them both. However, it's obvious from the situation that Evelyn is better at using it.
What about it?
It makes magic stronger. With enough of it, and our magic, we can stop her.
Whose magic? Yours and Maddie's?
Her eyes glisten in the moonlight as she stares up at me. Now she is cursed in some way, so maybe that is magic too.
No, Morgan. Mine and yours.
What?
I can't keep the exasperation out of my voice. We don't have time for her to mess around. Jadra nimbly climbs up my leg and torso, my heavy sweater protecting me from the pain of her claws. She perches on my shoulder.
Love is its own form of magic. It makes the impossible possible.
Sure, well that would be nice.
And I know you have plenty of that.
I turn to face Tara, who's been listening to every word. Despite it all, she gives me an encouraging smile.
I don't know anything about magic, and I'm still figuring this love thing out. But I know I believe in you, Morgan. Go kick her ass!
I breathe in deeply. I tried to stop her myself. Even if I had to die for it, I would. What Celadora says sounds crazy, but everything about this is crazy. And I don't want to die.
Okay.
I'm putting all of my trust in Celadora and in Tara. Just like I know they are putting their trust in me. I won't let them down. With one arm, I hope keep Celadora in place. And as fast as I can, I run, heading straight for Marie and Evelyn.
Now do you understand? Everything that you've done still wasn't enough. Even cheating death itself. Now, join them.
Barely on the periphery of my awareness, I can see a magical energy coalescing behind her. A spell that's intended to end my life. I need to react. I need to move out of the way or do something. But I can't. I'm frozen. I can't tear my gaze away from the sight of Morgan and Tara. I couldn't protect them either. I couldn't save them. Maybe I deserve this, too. I wasted the second chance I was given. Maybe Another presence cuts through the haze of my mind, giving me a sudden spark of clarity.
Madison!
She must have been calling my name for a while.
Madison! It isn't real! You aren't alone!
Her words cut through my despair like a hero's sword. I lock my eyes with her and I welcome her into my own head. She's so vibrant, so present, that she forces out Evelyn. Everything that I was feeling just moments before, all of the fear and horror is swept away and is replaced with only one thing: love. She helps make me myself again. Time itself has stopped, or rather, it doesn't exist here. Right now, we are the only two people in the universe. I'm aware that this is only a vision and not reality. Yet somehow it's more than that. Perhaps it's a different kind of magic. We are surrounded by light. Stars flicker, watching us to see what will happen next. I witness both myself and Abigail, but it's not just the versions of ourselves that are here and now. Rather, it's our future. Together, the two of us happily laughing, smiling, growing old. It takes me only an instant to understand. She's the one imagining it, sharing this with me, the same way that the fairies did. This isn't just a wish or a possibility. It's a promise. Both in my mind and in the real world, I take her hands. I don't worry about Evelyn, because in my heart, I know that we have already won. I look Abigail in the eye, and I say just two words.
I do.
I focus on the feeling of her hands against mine and the knowledge that she is with me. I steady my breathing and face back towards the scene that Evelyn's conjured. Only now do I notice the imperfections there. Morgan's feather is the wrong color. Tara's hair clips are the wrong shape. Even the markings on Chaladra's fur are different.
You liar!
It's like an AI generated image, I guess. I should have known. They were just more illusions. It's always illusions with her. I almost fell for the same trick twice. But it won't happen again. Before my eyes, the fake images flicker and then dissipate, vanishing entirely. For the first time, Evelyn takes a step backwards, shaken by my resolve. The spell she had been charging collapses into nothingness. She shudders yet again, harder than before. She shakes so hard that it looks she might fall apart. But she doesn't. And when she faces me again, there's still murder in her eyes. Evelyn takes a decisive step forward and outstretches her hand toward me. She opens her mouth, bearing rows and rows of teeth at me. I feel Abigail press into my side, and the vision disappears. Just then, I spot Morgan running towards us, Chaladora in her arms. The real Morgan with the real Chaladora. As they approach, I feel Chaladora's thoughts collide with my own. She sends me an apology for the signal, conveying in an instant everything that had happened. Then she sends me a request, along with 2 words. I'm ready.
The lake!
Even Evelyn turns around to see what Morgan's talking about. Then, without warning, Morgan turns and dashes into the pond, with Childera still in her arms, submerging them both in the water as they vanish from sight. Tara skids to a stop, watching the spot where they disappeared as the shimmering surface on the pond scatters moonlight. I understand. For what I hope is the last time I draw up the magic that the fairies have entrusted me with. I coax it out of every nook and cranny of the forest, from the frozen ground under our feet to the highest reaches of the tallest trees. I implore the forest to help me. Within an instant, I can feel its response. From the fairies hidden just out of sight. From the forest spirit waiting forlornly in its grove. From Alma's mother, her child taken from her unfairly. From Morgan and Celadora putting their fates in my hands. From the very moon itself. I move with the easy confidence of doing something that I know I was born to do. All of my short time as a fairy queen has been building up to this moment. A step forward, bolstered with energy, and no longer afraid. I feel out the gasping hole where Evelyn's mind should be, the black wild reminder of the existence she forsook, and the lives that she stole. I find her like a roach, skittering and afraid, and I bind her. I'm sure that it sears her like fire. She shudders and shivers and quakes in the moonlight. Moon sickness. After that, I let go. Release it all the magic and power that was given to me. I let it flow out of my fingertips, on its way back to its rightful owner. And I can see the arc of the magic as it descends into the lake where I know Celadora is waiting for it. And then, as the last vestige of it leave my body, the vision of it disappears, and the warmth of the moonlight vanishes, leaving me cold. The thousands of voices and consciousness quiet, and then go still, leaving me all alone in my own head once more. My dress returns to its proper form as just a jacket, and the flowers wither and shrivel away into non-existence, not dead. The crown on my head crumbles to dust, brushing past my ears before it's blown away. At the same time, Morgan resurfaces and swims to the shore, with Tara's waiting for her. The moonlight is endlessly refracted through the water, where it shimmers and sparkles. Beneath the surface, I can see her. Chaldura crests back through the surface, her true form restored, as she accepts the mantle of Fairy Queen once again. Yeah, that is Fairy Queen or Ice Queen or something. A shining dress, the color of fresh-born snow, adorns her, glittering as brightly as the stars overhead. Water streams down her in little rivulets, some turning to ice or frost on the way. She's breathtaking. My dress was pretty, but it didn't suit me nearly the same way the role of Fairy Queen seemed to suit her. Even Evelyn is speechless. Childra closes her eyes for just a moment. Her breathing slows almost imperceptibly, but just enough that I involuntarily step backwards. Her movements mirror the ones I performed just moments ago. Chaldra's dance is more experienced, more graceful, but I recognize it. She's calling upon the forest's magic. Then she raises one hand high. The moon seems to glimmer at her fingertips. In one swift motion, she slices downward, moonlight trailing behind her. It pierces Evelyn like a spear, fatal and true. Her whole body convulses as her moon sickness wreaks its terrible havoc on her. Her flesh bubbles and rolls as it tries to escape the dying spirit within. It's a gruesome sight, and I look away, turning instead to Abigail. She holds me tightly. As I watch Celadra approach the shore, I can hear the buzzing of the fairies just out of sight as they start to return to the Queen. I don't even have to be connected to the forest to know that it's rejoicing. It's over. We have won. I stand there on the shore, hardly daring to move. I keep expecting Evelyn to reappear, more powerful and furious. Or worse, for all of this to be an illusion as well. But it isn't. Neither trace of Evelyn remains, neither body nor soul. Celadra stands on the ground where she last was. The Fairy Queen's eyes are closed in mourning. Not over losing Evelyn, of course, but over losing the fairy she had once been. I look down at myself, in my regular clothes once more, and my flesh and blood body. I shiver a little in the breeze. It's a miraculous feeling. Then I turn and pull Abigail towards me as we wrap our arms around each other in the biggest hug imaginable. Neither of us say anything. We don't have to. From the side of the lake, Morgan and Tara approach us. Tara's limping, leaning on Morgan for support. They both look a little bruised, but not too badly off. Abigail and I walk over to meet them.
You did it, huh? You really did it.
Yeah, we did.
It's still sinking in.
Morgan, Tara, are both of you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
I'm good too. Messed up my ankle when we got here, but it's nothing too bad.
And your head.
But that was supposed to be fine because he's a blockhead anyway.
Hey now, I already said not to worry about that one.
Yeah. For better or worse, it really is impossible to face Tara. She could have died several times within the last half hour. But here she is, cracking jokes. I really admire that about her.
Are you sure you're all right, Morgan? You kind of just jumped into a lake.
And it was totally badass.
Yes, I'm positive. Thank you for worrying about me, though.
That's what family's for.
The two of them exchange a smile. As they do, I look up to the sky once again, and for just a moment I close my eyes. In my head, I offer a word of thanks to the forest for its protection and for everything it did for me. A chilly breeze blows in response. A loud buzzing fills the air, and we watch the swarm of fairies as they rush toward us from the trees. I step back to stand beside my friends as the fairies arrive, joyously fluttering about Geladra's head. A bright smile illuminates her face as her people welcome her home. They don't speak, their need for human language now gone. They don't acknowledge me at all. I strain to try to spot Aya or Rio or Anand, but I can't. I'm sure they are there, amongst the rest of the hive, but they don't pay me any mind at all. Maybe that's for the best.
So this is like really cool.
No, it is winter. She and Morgan are both watching, somewhat awestruck.
When we get home, Mads, you've gotta write an autobiography. Either that or the best fantasy novel ever. I'm sure you could make millions off the book deal.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Probably nobody would believe, but maybe nobody needs to believe anyway. I rub my arm around Abigail.
I'm good. I've got everything I need right here.
Abigail grins, putting her arm around me in turn. Tara groans and makes an exaggerated gagging noise.
Okay, if you're gonna be that sappy all the time, then...
Morgan interrupts whatever the consequences will be by leaning forward and kissing Tara on the lips. That shuts her up fast.
Then we'll just have to outdo them, right?
That's one way to think about it. Or maybe the second or third time ever, Tara looks like she doesn't know what to say. But in a good way. As we all love, Geldra approaches us. The rest of the fairies forming a cloud over her head.
So, it's over.
Yeah, it is.
There's much to be done. The forest will need time to heal and recover. It will take years, but it will happen. Thank you, all of you. Mere words cannot express how grateful I am, how grateful the forest is. Especially to you, Morgan and Abigail. Your family has suffered so much over the years.
That's right. Theodora was there with Morgan throughout everything. She's the only one who can even come close to really understanding what Morgan's been through.
It's over now, though. Just like the forest, it'll take time to heal and recover. But we'll be okay.
I know you will.
Theodora faces away from me, looking out towards the forest at large, and towards the waiting cluster of fairies, the domain, and her people.
What about the folks back in Eisenfeld? What'll happen to them?
I don't know, maybe they'll be like less frigid now when Evelyn is gone.
I imagine they'll recover from the glamour rather quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even remember Evelyn's existence.
Yeah, if they remember, they are like a good riddance.
There might be some difficulty as they figure out who will manage their affairs.
She turns back to us now, smiling. In particular, she looks at Morgan.
But I don't imagine any of you will be around to concern yourselves with that.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Right.
At the same time, Morgan and Tara reach for each other's hands. They smile at each other, meeting halfway.
And you, Abigail, are you looking forward to leaving?
Certainly. I've heard so much about the rest of the world from Madison and from Tara already that I can't wait to see it myself. Although, I'm a little nervous about, what were they called?
Airplanes, I guess.
Airplanes.
Yes, those. I do hope they're safe.
No, in terms of probability, I guess. Mostly. She looks to me for support, and I put my arm around her.
It'll be fine. I promise.
She'll have a lot to get used to in the modern world, but it seems like she is just as excited to experience as I am to show it to her. Even Morgan will have some acclimating to do, spending her whole life in Eisenfeld's limited amenities. It's fine though, as Morgan mentioned, we have so much time. The Fair Queen smiles at us again.
I see. If you don't mind, I'd like to show you just one last bit of magic. Something long overdue.
Yeah, not sure what it could be. Like fireworks. The four of us look at each other. The naughtiness and oh no, it's like the forest spirit. Probably.
Lead the way.
Theodora takes us around the pond to the far side, right to the boundary of bare ground and covered snow. She kneels down, scrapping together a mound in her hands, while the rest of the fairies watch from above in reverent silence, the usual keening mute for now. The ball of snow in Theodora's hands is shaped and smooth out as she alternates between scrapping and patting it. Soon I realized the form it's taking, that of one of the fairies, Oh, that's not what I expected. Celadora then gathers several other materials from the forest debris. Pine needles, a soggy leaf, a couple tiny pebbles, and then more objects that I can't see. She arranges the pebbles in her snow sculpture to form a face. Then she deftly weaves together a few sudden pine needles and ties them around the back of the head. I realize that they are supposed to be glasses, or at least an imitation of them.
Madison, it's you!
As Deladora wraps the leaf around the snow fairy, I realize that Abigail's right. It's not an exact replica, of course, but it's definitely supposed to be me. Once it's complete, Deladora lifts a tiny model from the ground, holding it in her cupped hands like a treasure. For a second, I think she's going to hand it to me, but she walks right past and heads to the shore of the pond. With her back to us, she lifts her arms, holding the tiny sculpture aloft. The moonlight shines down on her, illuminating the snow in her hands. The air around them starts to glimmer and sparkle, the light of the moon refracting off of nothing. Chaldra's whole body glows with the soft white aura that's brightest in her hands. Then the little fairy in her hands flutters to life and flies into the air. After just 2 beats of its fragile wings, it turns and joins the rest of the swarm, which immediately accepted into the fold. The fairy queen turns back to face us, the sparkling magic now calm once more.
A tribute in your honor. This was the first birth of our people in over a century, ever since I was first bound. Through this little one, your memory will live on in these woods.
Hopefully they do whatever the forest spirit needed to.
Thank you. It's an honor, really.
It's a bit strange to me that she'd chosen me as the model, rather than Morgan, whom she knows much better, or Abigail, who's far more intimately connected to the forest. After all, it's not like I did a whole lot as a fairy queen. Still, the gesture is touching. I watch the little fairy for as long as I can, until it's assimilated into the rest and impossible to keep track of. Just positively green with envy.
Before you leave tomorrow, will you come join me for a final time? We have one last farewell to make.
That's hopefully in the spirit. She looks at Abigail as she says it. Abigail's eyes widen, and then she nods.
We've got a late train, so it's easy to do.
You already got his tickets home?
Hell yeah! One of us has to be on top of things around here.
She smirks, and I playfully smack her shoulder. Going home. Just the thought of it is exciting, the prospect of returning to our normal lives, without having to fight for them. By now it feels kind of like a dream. But for once, one that I know will come true. Once again, I wake up before Abigail does. The bed isn't even close to big enough for both of us. But it didn't stop us from getting a full night's sleep. She lays nestled against my side, reading peacefully, while I contemplate the sunlight streaming in. No matter where Tara and I travel to, I'm always looking forward to going home. That's especially true now. It feels weird to imagine that this time tomorrow I'll be on a plane over the sea. We still have a long day ahead of us, though. Our train doesn't depart until the afternoon, and then it's hours to the city. At least it will be much more cheerful than my trip out here, when it was just Tara and me. For as long as I can, I remain in bed, cuddling close to Abigail. It's so nice to be able to just turn off my brain and relax. No deadlines, no threats, no flickering in and out of existence. Peace. It isn't too long before her eyes flutter and drift open. She yawns, cuddling even closer to me. Without moving the rest of my body, I turn my head to face her, and our noses brush together.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madison.
How'd you sleep?
It was the best sleep I've had in 200 years.
She smirks, and I laugh too.
That joke never gets old. Fitting.
Abigail moves in even closer, wrapping herself across my arm and shouldering like a cat. Her hair falls across my face, and I blow it away with a playful puff of air.
What about you?
Better than I have in months.
It's true. We both passed out pretty quickly after getting back to the cabin last night. Even the excitement of the day's events couldn't keep us up.
Will our bed in America be this comfortable?
Oh, it's even better. Although BT, our cat, really likes to sleep up there. So you might have to fight him for the spot.
BT will have to find somewhere new to sleep because I don't want to share you.
She shoos away an imaginary cat with one hand. I love her.
Maybe he'll like Morgan. She's gotta be used to having cats around by now. Gilidura counts. Technically?
But she also like prime cat behavior.
Our home will be so lively, won't it?
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Me either.
The sounds and smells of Morgan and Tara preparing breakfast, wafting through the bedroom, eventually stir us back into gear. I pack what little clothes I brought while Abigail gets dressed.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Meowdy meow.
Please don't ever say that again. But, good morning.
Hello. What are we eating today?
Wow, you don't waste any time, huh?
I've wasted a lot of time not eating, and I intend to fully make up for it.
You're in luck. I brought over all the food I had at home, so there's plenty.
Yeah, like, well, just don't eat too much because it will not be the best feeling. She sets a platter of pastries on the table, and Abigail immediately dual-wields a blueberry muffin and an everything bagel.
Wait, you already went all the way to town and back and then made breakfast?
Yes.
Isn't she amazing?
Morgan blushes. That might be the first time I have witnessed that.
She is.
Crumbs litter the table, aftermath of Abigail's enthusiastic eating. I had never met someone so delighted just to be eating food.
Have as much as you'd like. I'll bring the rest with us on the train.
I'm not sure we're gonna have to worry about leftovers.
Abigail grins in agreement. After we finish, I hope take all the dishes back into the kitchen and set them by the sink. Morgan starts washing them right away.
I'm not sure who I'm washing these for, but it feels wrong to just leave them dirty.
Yeah, I was wondering too, like I was kinda like, well, nobody owns this place, so can't you basically just like loot all the valuables? But not that there is much, I guess.
What'll happen to this place once we're gone?
She shrugs.
I'll leave the key in my shop. I don't really care beyond that. It's nice to not have to.
She wipes the plates dry with a towel, and then we go back into the living room. The rest of the cabin is already immaculate. The blankets are folded, the furniture is realigned, everything is in its place. I'd even say it's tidier than the day we arrived. I give my bedroom a final once-over, looking over everything for anything I might have left behind. Of course, there isn't anything. I shut the door behind me. The action has a sense of finality to it. Everyone else is waiting for me in the living room.
So we're going out into the woods one last time, right?
Yes. I need to say goodbye to a friend.
Whoa, you know someone else in the forest?
More like the whole forest.
Is it Elvis?
Probably not. Unless like Elvis is part of the forest, but I doubt it.
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
Who's Elvis?
Some like singer, I guess. I don't know much. I wouldn't even like recognize anything the guy has sung, or wouldn't know the voice. I would know the haircut, but that's about it.
Don't worry about it. Tara's just being dumb.
Aren't I always?
Yes.
You got me there. Anyway, you'll see when we arrive.
I don't want to spoil the surprise. Plus, I want Abigail to be able to share a peaceful farewell. Especially remembering that she told me before about the Fairy Queen and the Forest Spirit. We head outside and into the forest. For the first time since we got to Eisenfeld, it's not that cold out. In fact, It's even a bit warm. I wonder if that's a coincidence, or if it also has something to do with Evelyn being gone. Neither would surprise me. We haven't gone very far when Celadora suddenly appears, popping into sight just a few feet away. Her arrival is silent. No smoke or sound or anything like that. Just 1 second it's empty, and the next she's there.
Good morning.
Morgan and Tara both flinch at her sudden arrival, but Abigail and I are unaffected.
I've been waiting for you. I could feel the four of you into the forest.
That's awesome! So your fairy sense started tingling?
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it. Chaldra tilts her head, perplexed. Tara really needs to learn her audience out here.
Anyway, if you're prepared, I'll take you all the rest of the way. It would take far too long to walk.
The five of us join hands, Chaldra standing between Morgan and me. Her hands are cold, but not unpleasantly so. In the time that it takes for me to blink, we are teleported to the grove of ancestral trees. Even without being one with the forest, the magic in this place is palpable. It soaks into the trees, into the earth and trees, and the air is sweet. We approach the ancestral grove with careful, quiet steps. The destruction that Evelyn caused is more prevalent here. Streaks of ash still blemish the surrounding trees, painful reminders of the one she slew. Just ahead, I can see the clearing, where I know the forest spirit will be. Chaldura steps aside, gesturing for Abigail and I to continue on. We do. When the spirit comes into view, I can hear Tara gasp from behind me. The spirit looks even weaker than the last time I saw it. If previously it looked old, now it looks downright ancient. Its once terrifying eyes have lost their luster. Its wooden body is even more knot and warped than before, and it's so small.
Is this your friend?
Without turning, Abigail nods.
For all these years we've been together. It was the forest spirit who saved my soul when Evelyn came for my body.
Abigail reaches out a hand, going to the forest spirit's side. Like every time before, I also keep my distance.
Abigail.
I know. It's time, isn't it?
Yep, rip forest spirit. Chaldura nods. The forest spirit peers down at the girl by its side. I'm sure that it loves her back. Abigail takes a single step backward, and Chaldura moves to her side. Then the fairy queen raises a palm and presses it against the forest spirit. The sensation of magic gathering is familiar to me by now. even though this time it's flowing past me, not into me. Theodora calls life from the surrounding trees. Here, the life is more vibrant. The ground ripples under our feet, surging with unseen power. The sunlight beaming onto us feels warmer. Everything is glorious, happily alive. The forest spirit's twisted form starts to change and morph, not in a painful way, like how Evelyn died, but much more peacefully. Jagged shards of wood soften and retract. Its two legs start to stitch themselves together until into one solid trunk. Its arms stiffen, reaching outward and upward, slowly regaining the colossal height that it once possessed. Roots appear and bury themselves underground, as the forest floor itself rises a little to accommodate. I remember now that Abigail mentioned before that one of the Fairy Queen's duties was to help the forest spirit pass on, and with Theodora missing for so long, it was impossible. I wonder how many decades or centuries this one had existed before meeting Abigail. No wonder all the trees here have such vibrance. No wonder this is the center of life in the forest. Just like the process that made me a fairy queen, there's little pomp and flair to the transformation. But instead, it feels intimate and calm when Theodora retracts her hand and the magic dissipates once more. Everything is still and silent. Abigail falls to her knees at the base of the newborn tree. The spirit's great eye slowly slides down the trunk. A final magical motion until it's level with her face. Despite the tears in her eyes, Abigail manages a smile.
Hello, old friend. Thank you for everything you've given me. Not just company, but another chance at life itself. I'll miss you. I really will. More than I'll miss anything else here. I'm sorry I wasn't around much lately, but I hope you know that I was very happy. Even when it was just us. Even when there was no one else.
She reaches up, touching her hand to the tree, just like the fairy queen did. Except it isn't a regal, powerful touch. It's delicate and soft. She presses her forehead against the tender bark, not bothering to wipe away the tears.
And I hope you know that I'll be even happier now. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be okay.
Abigail remains there for a long moment. The forest spirit's eye watches her as best it can, for as long as it can. Slowly it goes dim. The red light fades to grey, and then to the same plain brown as the rest of the tree. Within moments, it's indistinguishable from the rest of the forest. Abigail looks back up and notices the change. She passes her hand across the sightless tree. And then she rises to face Chadora.
Thank you.
I'm sure you made its life that much more wonderful as well.
I hope so. Tara, do we still have time before we have to board our train?
Couple hours, yeah.
If it's no trouble, I'd like to return to the Fairy Grove one final time.
I'd be happy to take you.
Tara and Morgan nod in approval. They have both been keeping pretty quiet. Although that's only unusual to Tara. Still, I'm glad that she's being considerate of the solemn mood. Once more, Chadora takes our hands and transports us to the fairy clearing. There's no evidence here of what took place last night. While there aren't any deer this time, a few birds are in their nests, alright in the cool. It's a little strange to not instantly feel the presence of the fairies in my head. I'm sure they are close by, but like usual, they keep their distance. As soon as we regain our balance, Abigail wordlessly starts to head for the shore. Tara taps me on the shoulder.
Hey, me and Morgan are gonna take a walk. Give you two a couple minutes.
Sure. Thanks.
The two of them set off at a leisurely pace around the water. Chadora goes with them. She and Morgan will surely want to say goodbye as well. Abigail's already down by the water, and I move to join her. Her hand grasps mine as she squeezes tightly. She breathes in deeply. I do the same. The air is crisp but refreshing. This place has been so special to both of us that I'm a little bit sad to leave it behind as well. I know that's nothing compared to how Abigail must feel. I don't speak. I'm sure that in her heart Abigail's saying her final goodbyes to this place. I'll let her be the first to speak. We stand there in comfortable silence for a while, hand in hand.
I said before that I had come to love the forest as much as I possibly could. But now, when we're about to leave, I realize that I was wrong. Because I love it more now than I ever have before. It isn't that I want to stay, but rather that I never had the opportunity to miss it. And now, on the eve of my departure, I'm sure that I will. I think there's a certain kind of love that comes from having something, but there's a different kind of love that can only come from losing it.
She's not crying, but... To my surprise, she isn't crying. In the past, when we have talked like this, it's been accompanied by tears. both joyful and sad. But now, when I look over at Abigail, she looks determined to be happy.
Just because you leave something behind doesn't mean you've lost it. It just means that you have to learn to love it in a different way. When you look back on something and it makes you smile, that counts too. Love isn't just about moving forward. Sometimes it's about looking back. This place will always be special to you, and to me, in different ways.
What if I forget? What if someday I can't look back and remember what it looks like? What if I can't remember how it felt the first time we kissed? What if I forget how happy I am right now?
Even if you forget, you'll still carry it with you. It's still a part of who you are. It made you the person you are today. The memories aren't what's important. What's important is how they help you grow.
We go quiet again. After that, I surprised even myself with those words. When I look back, 5 or 10 or even 50 years from now, I wonder how I'll feel about this time in my life. Not just the forest and all the magical things that have happened, but everything that led up to it. Working on paranormal and all that we accomplished there. All the dreams that I put aside for it, but also new ones that it instilled in me. I still have a lot to figure out and feelings to sort through, but now the future doesn't seem too ominous and scary. In fact, I'm looking forward to it. From behind us, I can hear the sounds of Morgan and Tara approaching once more from their walk. I squeeze Abigail's hand and she starts to lead me back towards our friends.
Come on, let's go home.
All aboard! The train conductor yells out his iconic line, and there's a loud hiss as the train begins to move. It feels like something out of an old-timey film, but I suppose that's more than appropriate for how our journey has gone so far. Beside me, Abigail sits with a white-knuckle grip on the seats, alternating between staring out the window and making sure the ground is still beneath her. Across from me, Tara and Morgan sprawl across each other, all pretenses of not a couple abandoned. As for me, I drink it all in, with a smile on my face. Every one of us deserves this. We pull out of the station, and I gaze out the window alongside Abigail. On the way in, I remember how scary and foreboding the forest looked, and how it felt like entering another world. Now, on the way out, I certainly won't miss it, but I'm not afraid anymore. I wonder if De La Dora is watching us, somewhere out there.
Hey, Mads.
Of course Tara's the one to break the silence.
How proud do you think my folks will be that I finally got around to adding forged government documents to my criminal record?
I just have to laugh. I can't even be mad at her for this one, because there's no way we're getting Abigail into the country otherwise. I'm not sure how she did it. Maybe that's a brand of magic of her own.
What will be the first thing we do when we get back?
Asks Abigail.
Oh, you know we're gonna party!
From where her head rests on Morgan's lap, Tara still manages to strike a pose.
We've got New Year's coming up. Plus, Maddie's birthday is the day before.
Both Abigail and Morgan's eyes widen. I try to brush it off. every year, Tara swears we're going to go all out for my birthday. Every year she takes like 2 drinks and passes out, or falls out of her bar stool, whichever comes first.
Morgan, Abby, both of you drink, right?
I do.
It's been quite a long time since I have, of course, but I'm certainly partial to it.
You both know what that means then, right?
Tara's question is met with 3 blank stares.
Drinking contest!
Oh god, Tara. Not again.
Come on, you're okay with Morgan and Abby watching you drunkenly sing MCR, right?
No, I'm not okay. While Tara launches into an extremely exaggerated version of my last birthday party for Morgan and Abigail's benefits, I find myself looking out the window, watching the world go by once again. There's so much that I'm looking forward to when we get home. Teaching Abigail about the world, going back to school. I'll also do my best to help Morgan take over the duties on the show. Maybe I'll even come back to guest star in an episode or 2. For so long, I wanted the world to slow down, just a little bit, so I could catch up, figure things out, figure myself out. If there's one thing that being dead and hearing Abigail's stories taught me, it's that I don't want to look back later with regret. Just like I told her at the lake, we have a lot of good memories left to create. I intend to savor every minute of them. I listen to the conversation, laughing along even while I daydream about the future. My heart is happy here, even if my head's in the clouds right now. Abigail leans into my side, giggling at some joke whose punchline I missed, but I smile all the same. She'll make an optimist out of me yet. If there's one thing that we have now, it's time. And as for everything else, well, I'm sure the world won't mind if I keep it waiting just a bit longer.
Ah. Ah. Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't the kind of ghost story I expect, that they are basically ghosts forever and then go to afterlife together or something, because I would have cried so hard. But it was great. It was long, but it had momentum. Yeah, there were like a couple of like weird moments where I kind of felt that where the story is going. But well, overall it was great. Like, yeah, usually I play way shorter games, or all the longer ones are something with gameplay and stuff. But this one kept my attention all the way until the end easily. Definitely a great game. Just give it time. We have so much time. But yeah, like 10 episodes of streaming. Well, it is a commitment. So probably won't be playing anything this long. At least in a little bit. But well, eventually it'll probably happen.
Madison, look! There it is!
Abigail reaches out the open window to point out at the ocean, sparkling in the summer sun. My heart pounds as I hear the pure joy in her voice. The instant that the train pulls to a complete stop, she and Tara bolt for the door. Morgan grins at me and stands to follow them. I'm right behind her. It's alright, gang. This is it.
Smell that air. Feel that ocean breeze. Look at those crashing waves. I told you this place was awesome.
She looks back at us to make sure we are all as overjoyed as she is. With all the excitement, you think she was the one who had never seen a beach before.
This is...
Her voice trails off as her head swivels around, still trying to take it all in. I silently step up behind her and take her hand. She doesn't look at me, but the small squeeze she gives my hand is all I need to know she appreciates it.
Pretty incredible, huh?
She closes her eyes and tilts her head up towards the sun, taking in the summer glow.
It's better than I ever dared to imagine.
For a moment, I'm reminded of the glow that surrounded her the first time we read together. Was that the first time my heart stopped when I looked at her? It's happened so often that I have lost count. By now, I have known her as a human for longer than I knew her as a ghost. But she still got that same otherworldly beauty that she had back then.
Thank you, Madison.
Abigail looks back to me and smiles.
For everything.
I know the kiss is coming before Abigail even starts to move, and I'm more than ready for it. I wrap my arms around her and let her lips press against mine. Our bodies perfectly pressed together.
You were worth the wait.
We touch our foreheads together, fingers intertwined. There's no need to say anything else. For once, Tara waits for us to finish before interjecting, but the instant we separate, she's back to her boisterous self.
Are you guys coming or what?
Morgan puts her arm around Tara's shoulders as she waves us on. Not missing a beat, Tara pushes her long hair to the side so Morgan can kiss her cheek.
Come on, I'll race you there.
You're on.
Those two turned out to have a surprising amount in common. Whatever store of energy they both draw from, it seems to be infinite, but they are both sunshine characters. Morgan and I go at a much more similar pace, although even she's more enthusiastic about going along with Tara's craziness. Love does that, I guess. Yeah, hello in the chat.
You go ahead, babe. I'll catch up.
Me too. My swimsuit definitely isn't built for sprinting.
Abigail gives me a nod and another quick peck. Tara tries to do the same, but Morgan pulls her in a full-on kiss. When she pulls away, Tara looks completely stunned.
Better hurry, Abigail. Don't waste the head start.
That's the first time I have ever seen a kiss used to give someone a tactical advantage. I can respect that. Abigail takes off running while Tara blinks away, rotates before dashing after her.
No fair!
Yes, it is! You have longer legs than me!
Morgan and I are left in the dust, both chuckling at our overjealous partners. I doubt either of us expected someone so energetic to be such a perfect fit.
We should probably go after them.
Lead the way.
We both take off behind our girlfriends, entering the water and rushing to their arms. I can barely feel the cold of the water as Abigail's warmth envelops me.
And here I thought you were going to keep me waiting again.
We lean in for a kiss at the same time, our lips pressed together in deep, warm unison.
Don't you worry, Abigail. I'll always be right behind you.
The smile she gives me puts the sunlight insane.
I know, Madison. I know.
No, that was Heart of the Woods. But there are bad endings and stuff, but I don't want to play them. I just want the good ending. But that's how I am. But yeah, it was really great. It was long and it was great. Like the beginning was a little slow, but apart from that, there was like always something to be excited for the next stream, at least for me. Yeah, well, there is kinda a hole the size of the Heart of the Woods now in my streaming schedule, but I'll try to figure something out. There were like some extras or stuff, but I don't know if I'll stream them. I'll have to think about it. Like, this is a pretty good way to end it. Yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. See you next week. Yeah, I'll think about it. Anyway, bye bye.